3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Geeky Grind here on the Board Barista channel. This week we are painting a Primaris Captain in the Imperial Fist color scheme. He is equipped with a plasma sword, power sword, and a plasma pistol. Of course, this is done up in my traditional, how I pretty much paint all of my Imperial Fist minis. So, the painting palette, though, is quite a lot more extensive because this is a named character. So I'm going to slide over here so I have all this lovely room in order to put up my paint list. We have Avalon Sunset, Mephisto Red, Mornfang Brown, Leadbelcher, Gilman's Flesh, Bugman's Baharath Blue, Wog Flesh, Administorum Grey, Ushanti Bone, Wraith Bone, Retributor Armor, Moot Green, using some black wash, some white ink, some white gesso, and of course some Abaddon Black, as well as the neon purple for the base. So let's dive into the painting process. I'll get our video started here. Alright, so as you can see, I've already started by putting the neon purple on the base, and here I'm just going through and putting on all of our Avalon Sunset. I can never remember that color name. Anyways, getting all of our yellow in here. I really want to try out, I have a bottle of Imperial Fist contrast paint, but you know, as you can tell from the background that I'm filming against, I'm in the OG Nerd Bunker in Maine and don't have all of my painting tools with me because I figured I'd take the summer off and wouldn't do any painting. But man, I've been going a little bit stir crazy not having anything to paint. I actually helped out at the local shop at Town Gaming to basically just build a bunch of Tyranids and Necrons because I had nothing else better to do after work one day because I was just brain fried, and I did not realize just how relaxing and restorative the whole painting and building process really is for me. So I'm definitely going to be buying the equipment so I can improve the paint setup when we're back in New Orleans at the in the Nerd Bunker 2.0, or as me and Laura call it, the office, and be able to get some better shots of the painting process and everything so you guys can enjoy it a lot better. But I'm also going to clone that setup for up here while I am at the OG Nerd Bunker. And we're also in the process of hopefully renovating the OG Nerd Bunker into a more habitable space. So that may or may not be some Friday featurettes coming out. But yeah, right here, I mean, I understand how a lot of people can think that painting yellow is a pain. As you can see, you know, I've pretty much got this down to a science. It's one of the paints you don't really want to do a thin coat for. You really do want to kind of like go in there and get it good. But there's also a lot of times where you're going to have to come back in and retouch up. And I think if you give a good enough coat with your yellow, it works. It really does. I think a lot of people like thin their yellows down way too much. Doing it over a zenathal highlight, I think, is definitely the way to go. But I really want to try out the new Imperial Fist contrast paint because I've seen videos of it being used, and I see how great coverage it has, how it really does the type of yellow that I'm going for with this Averland Sunset, without the need to slop on so much paint as I normally do when painting yellow. Alright, now we're on to the cape. All of my Imperial Fist characters have these Mephistone red capes. I just really like the way that yellow and reds go together. It really does work as a good accent color for my army. And yeah, we're using Mephistone red here. Just getting in for a good base coat coverage on all of this. Really been having a lot of fun, like painting up all these models from the Imperium Magazine. I've got everything up into issue 11 for the Imperium side painted up. I'm still collecting the box o' shame for the Necrons. Really want to do a whole, like, can I paint this entire army in one weekend challenge for myself once I get done. Oh yeah, looks like we forgot some armor panels, some spots. Coming back in with yellow. Now, originally, for a long time, I didn't do the trim on the shoulder pad in red, but I started doing it on one group of minis. I came back and touched them up, and I put that red trim around the edge, and it was just like, oh yeah, that is totally what that model needed. It totally needed some red to define in there, just to break it up. It's really, yeah, really gives some definition to it, and this is one of the things we're really going for here. As you can see, I'm kind of being a little sloppy with this red. There's going to be a lot of coming back in and touching up to get those edges nice and crisp. Coming in on the Aquila, on the chest. Get that. All done up. Getting the purity seal on the leg. I do bounce back and forth quite a bit on my purity seals on my Space Marines. Sometimes I use purple, sometimes I use red. It really depends on like what part of the armor they're going to land on, of what do I really need to have in here. Alright, here we're just going in with that Administorum Gray. Now, it's not really a black, but it is a dark gray to be able to do those joints, spots. I like having that, like, because when I come back with a wash, it's really going to darken out. And here we're working on the leather for the pistol holster, along with the scabbard for the sword. This is where we're just using that Mornfang brown. Just to get all those leather bits. Alright, come in with a little lead belcher, do some silvers. Kind of my stock go-to recipe when it comes to painting guns. Just make them silver. Yeah, coming in for the silver on the backpack. I like doing all the exhaust ports, and up with that. Even hitting some more details in there. I used to, like I said, I used to leave a lot of stuff all yellow, but I started doing this type of breaking up the yellow with the silver on my backpacks with my old subjugators. They were my green Space Marines. Just do that with them, just to yeah, make them look cooler. It just kind of carried over. It became the whole way of how I do it. All right, got a little bit of silver on the techno pieces of the power sword. Doing it for the iron halo. I mean, you don't want to have a gold halo. Oh, good. We turned on the light. Had been painting without the light on, but it's kind of a thing. One of the things you really want to think about while you're painting and recording it is you really want to be making sure that you are having very strong light on it. Because just because it looks like it's well lit to your eye, you might not notice when you come back with a camera. So definitely. All right, now we're coming in with the Retributor armor. We're going to pick out that gold buckle. A few more gold details here and there. Definitely the little bits of filigree and metal on the scabbard. Again, the very emitter part of the weapon. I like to do this. Plasma gets just a straight shot of gold. Meltas, because they're definitely hotter, get a little special effect going on with some purple wash. Right now we've got the Ushanti bone. We're just coming in and hitting all these interior pieces of the cape, giving a nice cream color. Just getting a rough base coat down. I know that isn't looking the best right now, but we're gonna let that dry, come back and do some more layers. All right, getting the edges. Working more of that in and around, getting that layer of Ashanti bone. Get some better coverage. Definitely like working. It's one of the colors I definitely have to work up multiple layers. Alright, back to the gold for the shoulder pad. We're using that wog flesh for the laurel. Making these little green touch. Now at this point I had figured that, you know, he's a captain. He's gonna have the better capes. We're doing a little edge highlighting right here where on the hem of the cape. Just going back over all of that Ashanti bone that I put in on those edges. Get these all nice. You want to definitely use the side of your brush when you're edge highlighting. It lets you have a lot more control. You don't get as big of a area of gold. Overlap. But it is nice in some of these places you can have like a little thicker hem. Just trying to make it pop a little bit better. All right, we're coming in, we're touching up the edges of that laurel. Hit some more of that Ministerium gray on his like undersuit and interior of the armor. All right, for plasma and energy effects, I like to start with a little bit of white ink. I'm just putting them on my base white where all that plasma is going to be, coming back over. Now this is the hard part about painting yellow, is you're always going to be coming back until you get a good coat. You're definitely going to be coming back in looking for those spots where the paint's a little more translucent and you're seeing your underside. Also here, just touching up any of that spill over on the red. And back in with some more gold, hitting up some more stuff. And of course he's HQ, so his helmet is going to be red. That's how I differentiate my leaders. Anybody who's not just a standard stock Space Marine has the red helmet. Alright. Now we're coming back in with more of that Ushanti bone. And we're just getting another coat over all of this. Blending it in. Let those darker spots kind of fade out into that darker color. Give some of that over all of our purity symbols. Now we're going to take some more white and we're going to do the blade of the power sword. Trying to leave a bit of that silver, the techno pieces coming off the blade, shining through. Yeah, it's coming along nice. Alright, got a little morphine brown on for the face. This is where we're using the wraithbone. I like using wraithbone for my flesh tones. Definitely works with the contrast pretty well. This is where we're taking that moot green, spreading a little bit of that around different areas. We're leaving this little bright white spot in the middle of the blade. Back up, touch that up a little bit, and we're definitely. This is where I'm doing a little bit of wet blending right on the sword, just mixing that white and green together. A little variation. I see kind of a Luke Skywalker-esque character in this one. I think I didn't use any of the neon green. Maybe that was a little neon green just to add it in, but I'm going back and forth. A little bit of white, a little bit of green, keeping the paints wet. Now we're going back over the coils on the plasma with some of our white ink. Also going to get some on this banner parchment piece that's on his leg. Coming in and touching up that cape. There's a lot of touch-up work being done on this. A lot of just going in, making sure everything comes out just how you want it. It is a character model, so you're definitely going to be spending a lot more time on it. Adding the gold trim to his little front flap. Adding some white, cover those eyes. A little white strip on the top. And we're going to pause here. Alright, so we are back. Sorry, I had a little interruption. We're got the power sword all done now. We're working with that Baharath blue. Putting that on all of our jetpacks. Doing a little touch up on the silver. Doing our blue over our plasma coils. Yeah, that is looking good. Now we got some of our light gray coming in here and painting our rock. Because, you know, it's a Games Workshop tactical rock. All of our HQs need to be on these. Now at this point, we're coming in and we're doing some panel lining with our black wash. I originally used to just slap the black wash over everything when it came to painting my Space Marines, but then I found out I had to go back in and then I had to, you know, retouch up all of my yellows. Doing a panel line wash, just going in and getting all the creases in the armor. is a lot faster, and it actually looks a lot neater because you do get like some more natural transitions. You're gonna get the wash in those dark, deeper spots where you want them, but you're also going to have a little bit of fuzz where the wash is touching the raised pieces a little bit. Gives you a nice gradient, makes it look a lot better. Just making sure we got enough black wash in all of our dark spots. Going over the Aquila, darkening that down. It's really hitting all of our details. Alright. Now we're coming in with our Gilman's flesh over our Wraithbone, as well as the hair, just to blend it all in, make it look more organic and fleshy. And this is the spot where I'm coming back in with the Avalon Sunset and hitting all of our flat panels that got a little bit too muted by the black wash. Just brightening up some spots, giving a good highlight where it needs to go. I think I mixed this with a little bit of white ink just to give me an even better, just to push those highlights a little bit further. Really trying to push these color values up, make everything stand out and pop a little more. Coming back in with some more red, adding a little bit of white into our red to make this more pinky highlight color. It's really looking to go for some good highlights on this mini. Touch up a little bit of that white on that leg banner. More of our shadow color because it kind of dulled as it our highlight color. It dulled a little bit as it dried. This is pure Avalon Sunset we're using for the underside, mid-tone. Yeah, we're going in. This is pure Avalon Sunset, no white in it. Trying to get the eyes. And just at last minute inspection. I mean, this is a character. We are trying to go for our best possible job. Alright, now we got the makeup brush. We got the white gesso. We're on to the base. Dry brushing in all that snowiness. And we've got the Abaddon Black coming around that base rim. Abaddon Black base rim. Does this mean? Is it true? Are we almost there? Can we possibly be completely done? I think we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are completely done. And that is how I painted this lovely Primaris Captain. Now, before the Armor of Contempt rule came about and they changed it, so the Primaris Captain to have was going to be the one with the Storm Shield. Basically, Armor of Contempt doesn't apply with the Storm Shield because they already get a +1 anyways to their save. So you're kind of actually saving points by going with this guy, unless you're facing a lot of AP 0 weapons, but everything kind of is like you want it to be AP 1 or better. So it still comes out in the math as being the same, but stats wise, but having it be points value difference, having your character be about 5 points cheaper instead of having the Storm Shield, definitely good. Able to fit, a lot more minis in your army when you don't have to pay 5 points a mini. But I like him. I I do have both of the named characters for Imperial Fist, Tor and Lysander, and they're both locked in as captains. So I am going to plan on using this guy as my chapter master. So I think it came out pretty good. But yeah, if you have any mini painting request from the Indominus, not Indominus, from the Imperium Magazine, definitely let me know what you want me to see paint from that magazine. I'm going to be doing all the minis from it in the order they come out, but I can definitely prioritize some of those if you want to. Again, anything but the Necrons, definitely going to be waiting to do those all at once. But no, I had a lot of fun, and I want to thank you for joining. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like, share, subscribe, all those cool things to let YouTube know that we're doing a good job. And I will see you next week for another Geeky Grind painting tutorial. Peace.